There are many people today in West Virginia that have lost dreams and lost hope and are discouraged with life. Morning, Dorothy.
Morning.
Each Sunday morning, rain, shine, or snow, he drives a 2.5-hour circuit, picking up people to take them to church. Many of them have no other way to get there.
There are many people who are unemployed, on welfare, who are on food stamps, and they need somebody to say, we care. We care about you. We want to help you. And we want to help you to learn to help yourself.
In the mountains of West Virginia live some of America's poorest people. Once they worked in the coal mines and oil fields of the state. But now those industries are almost gone, and so are the jobs.
Most of them are out of work. It's not that they're lazy, but there's no employment. Things are rough around here. And most of our people, they would like to have a job or even go look for work, but most of them don't have the finances.
When I first came here 9 years ago, we had 35 families on our food ministry. Right now, our food ministry has grown to the point where we are serving approximately 250 families per month. We give out anywhere between 2 to 8 tons of food a month. They are wanting jobs, but they are the kind of people that would be hard-pressed to find a job if one was open around here because the education, their lack of education, I should say, and people of this economic background have been told that they can't learn, that they don't have the mental faculties to learn. And so people just drop them.
Meet Junior Gould. It was because of Junior that New Covenant Church started a literacy ministry. Junior needed to pass his driver's test, so he learned how to read when he was 50 years old.
I started on between 3rd and 4th grade level. Now I'm between 6th and 7th grade level. It's changed my life completely as far as being able to read and communicate with people and stuff. It's helped myself, my family, and other people in my community.
A lot of people would go without a lot of clothes if it wasn't for this little church. And I've seen a lot of people saved since I've been working in the clothes ministry.
Yeah, I think these will fit.
The church's job,
These is too small, huh?
yes, is to share with them Jesus Christ. Yes, it's to bring them to the Lord. And I'm not downplaying or minimizing that at all, but you don't stand very much of a chance of winning them to the Lord unless you also try to help them with some other needs that they have.
When we took on this ministry, we knew that there wasn't a salary for it also, but we have in our heart to help others, and that's what the Lord called us to do.
One of the things we noticed is that the kids their clothes weren't as clean or neat as the other kids, and we wanted the kids to feel good about themselves.
I'm Chris Blanton. Basically, I'm the van driver. I start out early on Tuesday morning. I go over to the church, get the van, pick up the soap and the bleach and the Bibles and all those sort of things. Then I go pick up the ladies, get around and go pick up the ladies and bring all their washing and stuff. And they're all single mothers with anywhere from, one of them has 3 children, one has 4 children, one has 1 child, and grandma has 2 children. And they all live on welfare. It's a pretty sad situation.
We're going to be in Genesis, the 37th chapter this morning, and we're going to start with verses 3 through 5. And we're going to be talking about when things go wrong. We went from picking up 2 kids to almost in 3 weeks picking up 20 kids. And we had to develop some programs almost instantaneously to meet this need. I'd encourage churches to take the blindfolds off. You're not going to reach the parents of these kids with just Bible school or church as usual. You're going to have to be creative. You're going to have to keep your sensitivity to where they are. Jesus met the needs. He healed, he touched, and that's what you're going to have to do.
We're new in New England. Southern Baptist work here is not that many years old. So we've had a lot of things we've had to fight through to establish the fact that we're a legitimate church. We pull out of the back of a storage area and set up on Sunday mornings, and it transforms from Franklin Elks Lodge to Franklin Baptist Church. You see, the reason for doing the good deeds is not so that you yourself can have the attention or you can have the light shine on you. It's that by doing the good deeds, we can show them God. The biggest thing is lack of resources. We don't have an office, we don't have a building even. And being a new church where you don't have an established building, and other than Sunday morning services, every other ministry of the church runs out of our home, there are just a lot of different things to get used to.
No, I didn't.
Our first event as a new mission was a pasta party. We found this in the most spiritual of resources, Better Homes and Garden. And the idea was that you provide all the pasta and have your friends bring their favorite sauce. We didn't do an evangelistic event. We didn't preach the gospel. We didn't give an invitation. We didn't do anything like that. We just simply began to develop relationships, began to make friends.
Charles and Laura Lee have always found ways around the obstacles of not having a permanent home for their church, but it was a problem their young congregation dreamed of overcoming. Walter Lanigan had a similar problem back in 1932. During his prayer time, the Lord told him to start a church, but he had no place to meet.
And the Lord said, you're going to open a mission. I said, well, if I'm going to open up a mission or a church, I said, someone's got to pay for it. You got to, I can't. 19 cents in my pocket. That's where I started.
Walter Lanigan found the place he believed God wanted for his new church to meet, but the rent was $20 a month, money he did not have.
He came home as happy as a lark. And I said, what happened? You're awful happy. And he said, a man was coming down the street behind me. And he said, here, I got something for you. And he handed him $25. And he went up, my husband went up, and he paid for the rent, only $20 a month. And he still had $5 left to put the meter in for electricity.
Walter Lanigan pastored the Franklin Gospel Mission for 59 years. Then once again, during his prayer time, the Lord told Walter it was time to bring his ministry to a close. At 88, in the twilight of his ministry, Walter met with Charles Chambly, who at 28 was the same age he had been when he started the gospel mission back in 1932. He wanted to know if Franklin Baptist would like to buy his church's building. But when the appraisal came back at more than $200,000, Charles's dream of a permanent home for his church seemed to slip away.
And I remember saying to him, it's really a little bit more than I thought. I'm not sure we can afford that, but can we keep talking about it? Maybe we can, and I think the phrase I used, maybe we can, devise a payment plan for the next 650 years or something, that we could slowly pay this off on something that we could afford, thinking, we can afford $50 a week or something.
The next day, Walter Lanigan called again. He wanted Charles to meet with his board of directors.
He looked to me and he said, God has been good to us over the years, and as he has been good to us, we feel like we need to be good to you. We want to give you our building and land. And, it was everything within my power not to sit there and just cry like a baby in front of him, because I was just so overwhelmed. In order for us to be a church that continues to be successful, reaching and ministering for Christ, we must have a new, fresh vision from him.
So Franklin Baptist received not only a permanent home and presence in the community, but they also have been given a 60-year heritage of ministry.
This was going to be a spiritual home for a new generation. And that Franklin Gospel Mission, their legend, their history, the richness of who they are as Christians was going to be continued on, and that we were going to be a part of that.
They're so trustworthy and so friendly, and they're devout Christians. Yeah. They're real people.
Oh, yeah. If they weren't, they never would have got it.
The work isn't going to be dropped. It's just going to carry on.
Yeah. And I'm hoping there'll always be a church. I've always said that. Always be a church.
Then God continues to use us and allows us to change our world.